Discover Bitcoin. How you doing? Before I get started, sorry about my previous video. The sound was crap, so I thought I'd just make another one and just clarify the point of our channel again. When we got into Bitcoin, when I got into Bitcoin, I just underestimated how much stuff you need to know. The knowledge you need to get. To traverse these markets, from being able to buy Bitcoin, wallets, moving money, exchanges, charts, news. It's like, fuck, you hear it going up on the, through a mate or on the news or whatever, and then you want to get in and you just do not know where to start. So we're gonna dial it back, and if you can give us feedback, that would be good too. We just want to try and give information that's easy to understand. We understand that people have jobs, like I have a job. The regular person has a job, and they're not going to be a full-time trader glued in front of the screen, watching every minute, every second of the chart. So, in that case, what do you do? Well, how do you get into a trade? Why do you get into a trade? How do you determine the direction of the market? Where to enter, where to exit, and everything else in between. So the purpose of the channel is basically to cover all of that, and to help you get what you need to be able to make money. My angle is more the charts, more the technicals. So I'm going to start making specific videos about all the different indicators that I use, and make a playlist, so then you can go back and have a look at them and make sense of this jargon that I'm throwing around. So you've got trend lines, you've got Elliott waves, Fibonacci, clouds, RSI, Bollinger Bands. There's a whole lot of different indicators and tools that you need to sort of have an understanding, I think, to be able to add weight to your reason to take a trade. Because the thing you got to remember is 90% of people lose in this market. Only 10% of people win. And you hear on the news, people have made all this money, and the prices run up and all that, which is cool, and which is why we got attracted to crypto in the first place. But what we have to understand is, like, just as fast as you make money, you can lose it. And we've just gone through this crazy year where Bitcoin has run up from $1,000 to 5,000. So if you had just bought Bitcoin at the beginning of the year, turned your computer off, and come back now, you would have been 500% up. How easy is that? But in the middle of that, like if you look at the charts, I mean, it went up and down, up and down, up and down numerous times. And during those movements, a lot of people will get flushed out. A lot of people will go, "Oh shit, that's it, I'm out," and sell too early, buy at the wrong time, wrong place. Hear some story on the news, like recently, China's been coming out and saying they're going to ban Bitcoin, or there's a temporary ban and all this sort of stuff. And the Chinese start selling off the Bitcoins, as you can see here on this wave 5. Boom, that's China there. Over here, that's China as well. Releasing news. The Chinese start selling Bitcoins, and then it's a butterfly effect. It just triggers everybody else to sell Bitcoin, and the market plummets. So it's a crazy, crazy game, and to be honest, you need to have a system. You need to cultivate your own system, and the purpose of this channel is to document our journey as we cultivate this 10% mindset, the 10% that are going to win. You want to cultivate that mindset, and you don't want to dedicate your life to it, because you got to work and live and enjoy life. But if you want to be successful at it, you've got to give it time. You've got to acquire the knowledge. It's like getting fit, and you're fat, overweight, lazy, hopeless. You just don't go for one run or go to the gym once and boom, you've got the six pack. That it takes time, it takes work to get that body. And trading is no different. you know, if you want to be serious about it, you've got to dedicate some time and effort and energy and money to your education. So I've done loads of courses. I've been training. The market has been teaching me, you know, schooling me up. That's where you get the education is through your losses, through putting money on the line and watching these things happen and seeing how your emotions react, because it's an emotional game. Once you know, play with real money, you do one thing and say another over and over again, and the market just basically fucks with your head to the point where you go, fuck, that's it for me, I'm quitting, and then you come back and repeat. So if you want to find out about yourself and how you tick, the markets is the place to get that inside scoop on yourself, on your mental state. You know, so you got to look at this thing from a 360, and you know, start eating this stuff as you choose. You know, in bite-sized chunks. Every step matters and counts, and our channel is about giving you those steps, um, providing you that information in bite-sized pieces, so you can build and start to trade consistently and make money and that type of thing, which is the name of the game. Buy low, sell high, rinse and repeat. Can't be that hard, can it? I'm telling you, it is. And without mentors and people that have been there before, I mean, you're just going to make loads and loads of mistakes, magnified. And you know, we aren't the answers. We're not the oracles, but we're going to give you information that's going to help, and then maybe link you up with other guys. There's so many gurus out there. Try and recommend you guys, you know, who to follow, who to watch, which courses to do. If you're keen and you start making some money, you just got to reinvest it in yourself, and you know, and constantly improve your strategies in your game, and make that cash basically. Anyways, that's enough rambling. I hope that was cool. I just want to touch base real quick about what I've been talking about recently and what's happened, because if you look back at my previous videos, you'll see that I called this bottom over here, or this maybe temporary bottom. We had this head and shoulders pattern that presented. I'll do a video about head and shoulders, so you don't have to stress out that you don't know about them. But basically, if you follow my cursor, you'll see there's a shoulder here, there's a head here, and there's a shoulder here. There's a lot of pattern traders that look for these. So once they appear, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're going to look for them again and look for a target. So I'll draw the neckline so you can get a visual. So there's the neckline there, right? You can sort of see this thing now. And if I get a little creative, it's something like this, yeah? Like that. And you would have seen that I made this let's get this tool off. I made this line here, right? Which is basically sort of from here to here. Then you bring that down, and that gives you a potential target, right? Of down here, which coincides with this wave one top, something like that. And I was talking about this for the last few days when the price was up here, and I said, well, you know, it doesn't look good. And sure enough, it came right down. And I got buys filled here, awesome. So we've had this awesome bounce. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about was Bollinger Bands. That was another reason why I took this trade here, but I'll leave that for another video. The point is, you need multiple reasons to take a trade. You can't just take the trade off one thing. You need to support that idea through multiple things. And these Bollinger Bands that I'm talking about was another reason why I took this trade here. And it's been a great bounce. And so now we are in this bounce. We're still in this downtrend. Where to now? That is probably the main question. where to now? So we've got these trend lines here, and the price is still quite a way away from these trend lines, which makes it even more riskier. We're still in this downtrend until we get above these trend lines. You know, there's no clear sky. There's just clouds here, dark grey clouds. We've had an amazing bounce, but if you look back at previous market cycles, they have mega bounces. Like if we zoom out to the last one, just to get some perspective on how this thing can play out. So here we are here, right? This is the previous market cycle. Look what happened. So we zoom out. Look at this bounce. Boom. Got the high. So more so this one. From the high of the previous market cycle, look what happened. Sold all the way down. Mega bounce. Came all the way up, but it sold straight back down. It basically stayed in this downtrend, you know, like that there. But you could have thought, you know, here, oh, we're back off and again away. Didn't even get up there, and it sold back down. Hit this line, sold back down. So the correlation to where we are now, if you can see it, I'll get rid of this head and shoulders. See how the market takes similar shapes over and over again. Even if you zoom out to the previous one before, this one down in there, very similar shapes. Basically this bell curve that happens over and over again. So without waffling and losing you guys too much, and if you're not in the game, I'll just sit back and watch what this thing's going to do, learn from how it's moving and remember it for the next time. I've got some stop losses in place, so if it does fall back, I'm out again. But if I was to say one thing, it's still in a downtrend. It's not bullish. Far from bullish. It needs to get above all these trend lines before it becomes bullish again. It's still got higher probability to the downside. So if anything, it could come back up to this neckline, or if it gets through that neckline, it might come up to this trend line and then sell back down to this level. If you look to the left, you'll see there was a lot of price action back in early August at this level, and even on this bounce, the price sort of stopped here as well. I mean, on the way down. So I would expect it to stop here, maybe rally off again, something like that. Maybe touch up here again. Once again, there's a bit of resistance there, bottom of that wave 4 to the left of me right there, and then sell back down to these levels again. It could potentially do that rather than the upside. There's, I think, a higher probability that it's going to do that, opposed to, if I bring out my bullish chart, I have to redraw it just to give you a bit of optimism. This is based off Elliott waves, and I'll do a chart on Elliott waves as well to give you guys the scoop. But basically, Elliott waves paint these 5 wave patterns a lot of the time. And so if we zoom out to a 12-hour chart, and I'll talk about those charts and how to use this program and stuff as well. It's pretty easy once you get the gist. Basically, I take the low, take the high, take the low, take the high, take the low, take the high, take the low, and then boom. So the Elliott guys will say that we've just painted a 4th wave, and we're in the start of a 5th wave. And the way they get their target is they use Fibonacci, which is another one. It just shows me how many things you got to learn. if you're keen to play this stuff. So they take the low and the high of that first wave, and from there you can get some targets. And so there's a target there of 6,500, but if it gets impulsive, Elliott maximalists, bullish Bitcoin lovers will say, oh no, 8,000, we're about to do a wave 5, 8,000, something like that, something crazy like that. Don't worry, I'll talk about Elliott waves and Fibonacci in more details, so you'll have a backdrop or inside scoop of how to use these indicators in another video. I just wanted to sort of give you an overview, and then as I do these market updates, you'll make sense of them more and more and more as time goes on. So this is the bullish version of Bitcoin, but for it to become bullish in the short term, it has to get over a lot of obstacles, a lot of hurdles, and in the back of my mind, Bitcoin's had an amazing run this year. China is, causing all sorts of craziness, which is not good for market sentiment. I'm just bearish at the moment. I'm bearish. It's still in the downtrend, and I would not be surprised if we fall to the downside, opposed to go to the upside. But in saying that, if we get across those points of resistance, we could be off and away. So that's sort of the way you got to look at the market. You can't be biased to one side or the other. You just got to look at what the chart's painting, and then take into account all the other things that support that you resonate with, because everybody's going to have their own taste. So it's up to you to develop that. And now I'm waffling. So I am going to sign out for my Saturday morning, go and have a coffee, get outside, get some fresh air, go for a run, clear their head. And I'll chat with you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, leave some comments, tell your friends about our channel. If you want to see certain things, let me know. If you want me to shut up about certain things, say that as well. But until next time, this is Discover Bitcoin.